Experience is the best teacher? Books are considered to be the source of all knowledge, but all that one learns through a book is only of theoretical nature in the form of ideas and concepts. It is essential to utilize them in a real environment and experience the knowledge that is learned from books. Learning is nothing but understanding the world around us. Books, no doubt, are a great source of knowledge as it gives us an idea about a particular subject in detail. But all that one could learn from it is limited to the level of knowing how a certain phenomenon occurs, or how a certain concept works. The knowledge gained through books alone cannot help anyone, because what one learns through the books should be put into use to harvest the benefits. For instance, a person who wants to learn to drive can go through various manuals and guides that teach people how to drive, but all this knowledge is useful only when you are actually driving the car on the roads. It would be an utter waste of time if one just reads the books and does not use them for practical purpose. Learning through experience is always a lot different from learning through books. Let us consider the same example of a person wanting to learn to drive. Even if he goes through every book that is available on driving, still it cannot qualify him as an expert driver. This is because of the fact that books about driving can only teach people traffic rules and provide solutions on how to handle certain situations. The situations faced by a driver could be totally different from what he had learned from a book. Sometimes we find that the real environment is quite different from the one perceived by us through reading books. This is the very reason why, even in educational institutions, all theoretical classes are followed by practical sessions. Learning through experience can also be more effective than learning through books because one does not envision everything on his own, but is given a chance to experience the reality. The art of driving can be enjoyed only when we are behind the wheels and not when reading it in books. Moreover, any book is actually an account of past experiences, i.e., it is based on the experiences of people who tried to develop a new idea. The books are their experiences, telling us what they already have tried. Thus, from their experiences, we can correct ourselves and thus save valuable time and resources. It helps us to concentrate on their failures and to correct them, but they alone cannot teach us everything we need to know. The knowledge learned through books alone cannot help us to face all the exigencies that we would face in real-life situations. We have to practice on our own. Books are like a guiding light in one's pursuit for knowledge. But it is left to every one of us to experience it firsthand and learn new things for the betterment of their lives. So the notion experience is the best teacher is perfectly true. Are books more important than experience? It is true that not everything that is learned is contained in books. A person can learn a lot and retain what he learns through experience. In my opinion, life's valuable lessons are learned from experience, and so the knowledge gained from experience is more important. Books are a great source of information. A person in his lifetime cannot experience everything, but by reading a book on a particular subject, he can gain knowledge over that subject in less time. There are books available on any subject that one needs. However, experience seems more important to me. Suppose a person living in the United States wants to learn about India. He has two options. He could visit India and learn about the people and places there, or he could just pick up a book about India and read it. The first option will be expensive and time-consuming, but at the same time, it gives him first-hand information and a sense of satisfaction, while the second option is less expensive and saves time. A person can gain knowledge and learn many valuable lessons through his or her own practical experiences and also the experiences of others. The knowledge learned from experience is very likely to be retained in our memory for a long period of time. The conclusions that we draw from what we learn would be from our practical experience instead of accepting the conclusion drawn in the book by the author. So in my opinion, knowledge can be gained both by reading books and by experience, but the knowledge gained through experience is more important. Are books more important than experience? Nowadays, most people appreciate learning at school, where a number of books are the source of knowledge. However, from my point of view, learning from experience is much more important than learning from books, since our real lives concern more about knowledge from experience than knowledge from books. Firstly, knowledge obtained from books is more abstract. As we enthusiastically study in classroom, we have learned several mathematic equations, or a number of science theories. Of course, they all are necessary for some professional occupations, such as scientist, engineer, and doctor, but not for all careers. In addition, knowledge from books is rather logical and exact. The result of a matter is always follow concerned theories. For example, a person who has learned science can know how long that an apple falls to the ground takes. Certainly, the answer can be obtained by using Newton's formula. Nevertheless, I think that the most significant lessons cannot be taught, they have to be experienced. No one can teach us how we can get along with others well when we have to change to a new society. Books cannot teach us how to adjust behavior to satisfy others, and think optimistically when we confront a trouble. In contrast to books, knowledge from experience is adjustable, it does not depend on any theory or equation. A solution from experience is always depending on the situation and other factors influencing the problem. This is because living experience is so fine and complex that cannot be determined by theories or equations. In conclusion, although both books and experience can give us a variety of knowledge, in my view, the knowledge from experience is more important. The reason is that in everyday life we must face with a lot of situations, either extremely hard or easy to cope with, that cannot be handled by just knowledge from books.